Welcome to hell! That's right, we are going into hell's domain. Heck yeah. This place features some interesting design decisions, which I will demonstrate, shall we just say. But my playstyle will be slightly different from how this game usually plays. Now, if I remember correctly, in the previous video I kinda ran past everyone as well. And that's what I'll be doing here, but in here, let's just say it's a lot more useful. And besides, it does fit the theme of hell, I'd say. Usually would stop and fight people, but in this case, these fucking guys, you just run from them most of the time. And I will explain in a second. Those guys can only die if you cut their heads off or burn them to a crisp. If you set them on fire, they will increase their speed, and their attacks will set you on fire as well, so that's risky, unless you can get away from them easily after you set them on fire. And to behead them, you need first of all, of course, a weapon that can slash, so no clubs. And then you actually need to hit somewhere around their head, if I'm not mistaken. So, the generic sword that you have right now, Viking short sword, doesn't really work anymore. Sometimes it randomly works, but I'm not exactly sure of, like, the mechanics behind that, so I maximize my chances of cutting off their heads by using the axe here, which has a swing from a standing position that goes somewhat on the level of a head if you aim a bit to the right from where the enemy is. This is really stupid, but that's just how this goes. I don't know why they made it like this. And you would do all sorts of weird stuff to cut off their heads. You would use like jump attacks with the sword just to hit higher. This is like the epitome of the problem from hack and slash games, where you want a hit somewhere, like higher or lower than you do, but you just cannot do it because the controls are limited and the character animations unlimited. By the way, here is the first new enemy in the classic version. These are skeletons. You have two of them instead of the two front crabs. They are kind of annoying. They replace more than half of the dishonored undead, which are the desaturated zombies. And while you don't have to cut off their heads, they are much more dangerous because they attack viciously and pretty much behave like human enemies later in the game, which is kind of startlingly difficult at this stage of the game. But I guess it gets rid of the problem of not being able to quickly kill most of the enemies around, because you wouldn't need to bother cutting off heads, although they seem to be almost immune to fire, so there is that. Also, this guy wasn't here, and that guy also I think wasn't there in the classic version, but whatever. Some enemy placements has changed, some other things have changed, scripting, I'll show you as it becomes relevant. But yeah, you can see here, it's just bullshit. They just kinda lie down, and there we go. I don't know, I almost always feel like you need to deal enough damage before the chance to cut off their head increases, but sometimes you just do it first try. And there is another factor, which is your rage. I'll explain in more detail a bit later. Basically, that meter at the bottom of the screen, it fills up when you kill enemies, and when it fills up completely you enter like berserker mode, in which you deal obscenely more damage. That's all you need to know for my point here. Point is... oh, that guy's gonna get it. Yeah, point is, that helps cut off their heads too somehow, I don't know. Maybe the collision box for where you need to hit is actually larger, but there is some damage involved or some randomness. I have no idea, which makes these guys really annoying. But, once again, I will say it fits the theme of hell. You kinda have to frantically run around or just subject yourself to incredible tedium, I guess. Well, not the best. I will say right away, the hell section is not my favorite in this game. But it's cool, and for the let's play I will of course just kinda try to be as optimal as I can. Now, you can go up to that goblin here, but why would you? If you follow him, another one jumps from up top behind, from up there somewhere, and ambushes you, and there is nothing you get from it, so whatever. Those levers lower the cages into the lava, which if you're feeling sadistic, there's a lot of that in this area, actually. But yeah, these guys, usually the best you can avoid them. Or you can use some of your rune powers, as I will show you in a couple seconds. Here, after I deal with this guy, well, these guys, I didn't intend for the first one to follow me down here. Well, I guess he didn't really follow because he jumped in front of me, but whatever. Let's kill them tediously, or maybe let's just ignore them. If it seems like I'm playing right now, it's just because I forgot what exactly I do, but let's use our rune power. The axe, the hand axe, has the rune power of specter or spirit or whatever. Makes you invisible, which is cool. And it lasts for some time or until you change your weapon, because the rune powers deactivate when you change weapons. Best thing is enemies don't react even if you hit them. Well, at least these guys don't seem to. And let's just pick up that head. There we go. Now everyone is angry at me because they see me, but they cannot do jack shit. Basically, they are infinite if you don't close the gates right away by that lever. You can use the fire in the middle of the room, of course, to help you. But here I will show another rune power and fire. The Rusty Mace has this awesome throw everything around power, which in here is very helpful to throw people in the fire. Now if they are just on fire, they will burn for pretty long before they die. But if they stay in the exact, like in the source of fire, it also damages them a little bit or accelerates their burning or something. So they will die faster if they are actually sitting in an open flame. Which is useful, but very situational, of course. And it really helps that you don't have to position yourself here to use the levers. For a second there I kind of forget that there's a second one that I have to press to open the other bar on the door. Excuse me for not really seeing a lot, because this game is dark as hell and my monitor is dark, and of course I've lit it up slightly for the videos, but I'm seeing way worse in the actual game. By the way, all the levels that we see in this update are actually in the classic version, but starting with the very next update, which will be the second half of Hell, there is going to be cut levels galore, but we'll get to that when we get to that in the next update somewhere. For now, there is just a bit of talking to a certain someone half dead.
There is a strange presence in my realm, a living presence. Why, it's a mortal, a lone warrior, all alone. I shall send you some company, lone warrior.
Thank you very much, I appreciate some company, but didn't you notice all the goblins trying to break in? Actually, why are they trying to break in from the safety of their caves into Hell? I will never know. Also, there's crabs who are also kind of living. Well, not after I'm done. Actually, they will be, because I am ignoring them. I just want this rune. The runes in this game are kinda weird. By the time you get the most use out of them in the harder parts later in the game, they become strangely absent. And here in the beginning there's just incredible amounts of them everywhere. By the way, that place, slightly before, puzzled me for a long time. Basically need to pick up this torch in order for the grating here to open, and not just the big bulky door. Which is really strange, but I guess it tutorializes the torch here. And you can see how it works. You can relight it, and you can set enemies on fire. Sometimes they can set you on fire if you're unfortunate, like this. Doesn't actually deal that much damage. Oh, that was kinda stupid. But you have to wait. And the crab is now on fire somehow. For a second there. Kinda wanna kill him to be able to eat all these lizards. You shouldn't joke around in this place, it's kinda dangerous actually. It's admittedly much more dangerous, like hilariously more dangerous in the classic version. Because of the skeletons and another new enemy. But in here, these guys are plenty enough. They can swarm you if you keep ignoring them. Or if you try to fight all of them, it will just wear you down and they will keep getting hit in and it will just not be a good time. Okay, here I'm just kind of evading everyone. That's a lift. That other guy activated a fire flamethrower there, which set his friend on fire because he's an idiot. He thought he would catch me in that. There's goblins. Lower than one down there for later. Ominous laugh. This opens both of these. There's this strange duality of gratings and actual doors. The actual doors usually are automatically gratings, usually you have to open somehow by picking up nearby torches, for example, or just pressing levers. God damn it. This cloud is kinda annoying because it sort of stun locks you. You cannot attack. You can move, of course, but you can't attack very well. And there we go. That sound is the sweetest sound because it signifies that I actually kill one of these bastards. Now, down there, you can see a piece of a bridge kind of hanging down and the guy. You bang the gong, the guy decides that it's a signal, goes, pulls a lever and raises the bridge for you to cross. There it is. The gongs in this game, sometimes enemies will hurry to them and try to hit them, which will summon more enemies. It's scripted most of the time. And sometimes you need to do that in order to kind of order some stupid enemy to do something. By the way, this ledge is completely invisible to me right now. I just trust my instincts. Instincts. There is a lot of dangerous climbing in this area for some reason, I don't know. But I decided to show it all off, just because I'm just... blah blah. Yes, I am that. I'm blah blah. I was looking for a word daredevil actually, but for some reason I confused it with blah blah. This gong is a piece of crap, so you cannot jump over it. You have to go around and sometimes it can just kind of bounce you off into the lava. Thankfully didn't happen here. Open this back. These guys really like using switches to close doors behind you or something like that to just ambush you. But now it is time to fry some boblins, yes. And that idiot who will keep running into the flame eventually. There he goes. Activate it again. And he just stands there, just runs away. As soon as you activate it again, he runs there with open arms. Woo! Let me get on fire some more. Interestingly, he doesn't die in a long time, as if he is not actually standing in the fire. Thus, completely contradicting what I said before, but there he goes. The goblin, however, appears to be unable to die. I don't know. I don't remember if I ever managed to kill him with fire here. You can do this for a long time, and his arms and legs will just become hair thin pretty much, and it will not kill him. Burning him and burning him and burning him. But actually, now that I have shown you how the Dishonored undead burn, let's get back to the classic version and I will show you another difference. They have changed some of the rune powers around. For instance, the Viking short sword now has vampire powers. And ignore the writings in Russian on top of the screen, because those are for some reason not changed the way the actual powers are changed. But yeah, this is very useful. Usually a weapon much later in the game has it, but here it becomes very useful for getting your health back. Not sure if it works on the zombies actually, didn't get the chance to test here. What does this have to do with the undead burning, you ask? Well, I'll show you a bit later. Let's just have a walk through this part that we already saw, to just kinda illustrate how many skeletons there are and how a lot of the Dishonored are replaced by them. You can say that this makes this more like a real part of the game, where you actually fight real-like enemies and stuff. Real-like, that sounded stupid. Real life? No, that doesn't work either. Lifelike? No. What was I going to say there? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, the axe doesn't have the spirit power anymore. Instead, it has something slightly different, which is kinda useless actually there, because the skeletons, as I said, are immune to fire. Now, if that doesn't give you a hint what the axe does, well, I will just say in a moment, somewhere around here when it becomes relevant. By the way, they can totally infight. But this guy will be set on fire by the middle of the room, I think. Yep. So my flaming axe is useless, but this flaming axe is a freaking godsend against the Dishonored undead. Not the skeletons don't give a shit, but the undead, They burn like in a matter of seconds after you hit them with this. Normally, a weapon that we will get pretty early in the next update in the real game has the firepower, and it does not burn people even remotely that fast, like this axe does. But I think they actually upped the fire damage in this classic version for some reason, because I am noticing the undead burning much faster. Let me show you how fast they burn. And down he goes. This is like nowhere near as good as it usually is in the original game. But the skeletons are kinda pieces of shit, as you can see here. Annoying. And will probably kill me. Yep. Funnily enough, they actually walk around afterwards. I don't know what's the purpose of that. And back to our regular scheduled barbecue here. Giving up on this goblin because he ain't dying. Nope, he ain't. I could probably reach through the bars and kill him with my weapons, but whatever. Gonna cross this bridge that was so nicely raised by that guy. Lower it back so that no one can catch up. And see how that guy goes, uses the gong, and it will summon people from back there. So that's why I actually lowered the bridge. Let's deal with him here and then with the newcomers, just because I can. You actually don't need to ever go back there or raise the bridge again, but I kinda like fucking with the skeletons. So come on guys, get over here. Psych! Suckers. There we go. Now, if you just go down here... Dang it, I spoiled it. Oh well, if you just go down here, you get blocked. Like so. Cannot go in there. But the way to go around is kind of painfully obvious. And I sort of jumped on there already, so let's just go back to that roof. Normally it would drop down there, but I kind of wanted to show you some of the scary jumps around here. And I was a bit confused for a second. If you saw those spikes around the tower back there, down near the lava, they have a lot of lizards around them. And you can restore your health from pretty much almost zero if you eat all the lizards that are available. And some of them will be left over, so that's cool. But I didn't need it in this case. But then I remembered that there was a rune down there, which I also don't really need, because there's another in plain sight later, slightly, well, just like in the next room, but whatever. Kill this guy. And here, aha, there's that thing there. And now I remember how to get there. So you jump down here, there is goblins. Of course this fucker damages me quite a bit. Well, I guess maybe not quite a bit. But I don't really care, because now it's an excuse to go eat some lizards. This is the rune. Now I'm full on rune power. There's a lot of clubs there for some reason, but we are going to be doing some scary ass jumps. Ragnar doesn't think they're scary though. But I mean, he is capable of thinking some jumps are scary, as I will demonstrate a bit later on the next level. So wait around for that. But yeah, these are panic-inducing. Woo! Thankfully, he is very reliable in actually grabbing ledges and stuff. So it's kind of safe, I almost want to say. Ragnar really handles the best out of these three hack and slashes that I'm demonstrating. But there is a rune to the right from me in the barrels, which I ignore here. Could have probably picked it up after activating my spirit, which I used just to bypass one guy. Now this guy, you stun lock and place here, and he will get burned by that flame coming from the lava. And since he was standing in the open source of flame, he burned really fast, which is nice. Now we are riding this kind of slow moving lift here. Dum da dum dum. Why do so many games have to use like slow moving platforms which you cannot accelerate in any way? Of course, sometimes there's ambushes and fights you have to do like here, but it's really not enough. Oh well, thankfully it isn't very long. And you can have your fun here. I'm just waiting for a second guy to jump on. And after that I can have some physics fun. Well, not really physics, but still. Tossing enemies around and is fun in every game. Wooha! There you go. Now just slowly waiting out the elevator. Nothing more going on in it. Look at that ass. Eating the lizards here. They get dragged along with the lift here, which is kind of dumb. Bam! And there we go, next level. This is a fun one, at least the beginning here. That might have looked scary, but I know that this ledge is here. First let's go grab another rune somewhere around here. And then another rune, which is the best rune in the game, the Rune of Hell. It's up on the platform past the two chains down there. There it is. What does it do, you might ask? Well, it ups your maximum health, therefore it's very useful and pretty rare. There is also a rare rune that does the same for your rune power. Anyway, now there's a bit of a puzzle, kind of. Down there there's a platform that needs to be slightly lowered so we can cross, and up here is a lever that does that. So let's do a jump that Ragnar thinks is scary. He is an impressionable guy, but then again, I would be really scared if I had to do that, because I do not count on my hands being able to stay attached to my body after I grip a chain at that kind of velocity. So yeah, Ragnar is a man, I guess. And men are not forbidden to show fear. Also down here is a debut of of another classic new, that sounds weird, new enemy in the classic version. That's what I was going to say. The Hell Dog over there. They are even worse than the skeletons. They do jump attacks that you can kinda dodge by jumping to the side, I guess, like so. But they like to come in incredibly tight corridors. And they are just annoying. There is no really good way to deal with them, apart from cheaty shit. And they do this kind of crap, so whatever. I'm glad I don't have to deal with them in the real version, the gold version. Okay, that guy is going to do stuff. Lower platform and summon some sort of flaming dude for no reason. I have no idea what's up with that. He just stands there. Oh well. Of course, not gonna bother with any of these, Dishonored. They can burn in hell for all I care, which is pretty much precisely what they're doing. Sometimes it's useful to stun them by downing them once and then escaping while they are getting up. That guy is an idiot because he jumped down there for some reason while I was already up, so whatever. Doesn't want to fight me, I don't want to fight him. Ooh. Now this is kind of a spooky part. Well, it was spooky back in the day. But nowadays I'm cool enough that it doesn't scare me anymore. But first I have to deal with this guy. This here is an example of how scripting of the levels has been slightly changed in the classic version, and some of it I approve of. For example here, for some reason you need to kill this guy for the lava to start rising. Kills the goblin that was standing here, clears the path for you. You cannot climb here until you do that. By the way, in classic version there is no random burning guy. Instead there's this skeleton just standing here floating in the air like an idiot. I suspect the burning guy spawned here as well and got burned by that fire or something, but the skeleton doesn't do that. So this is just stupid. But let me demonstrate how the lava starts raising immediately. This is kind of better, I guess, but you don't get to see the goblin standing there before he gets killed. There we go. Okay, now jump so that goblin can't attack me while I'm climbing up. He chose to just kind of stand there like an idiot. Well, they are all gonna burn here anyway, so I can completely ignore everyone. I kind of want that room though. Now there's much more opportunities, much more actual runes than there is opportunities to use them. For example, now I can climb up this chain, there will be a little space there where there's two more, and I really don't need that many. I can't really use that many. I mean, some of the powers I guess are kinda useful, but you don't really need them here. The rusty mace and the hand axe I think are the ones that are useful around here. The Viking short sword, I think, does a shield power, which is like super cool big shield for you temporarily. And that I can see that being useful, but then again I never actually used it in the game ever. So yeah. Now we get dropped into this level. There's some crab trouble in here. And some more weird scripting that was changed. Kind of, it works differently every time, so I have no idea what was even going there. I mean, what will be going there, because we haven't actually gotten to that part yet that I'm mentioning here. I'm gonna stealth around here for a little while. Very useful. There, that great. I guess maybe that was because just I was invisible, so that guy didn't close the gate. Both of those switches, the one that the guy was and the one that I just pressed, they alternate to which grating is closed and which one is open. So normally you get on there, and behind you the guy presses the switch and he switches the grate to exactly how you need it. The one that you need to go through gets opened, and the one that he could go follow you through gets closed. So whatever, you don't need to go down there and press that switch. But I was invisible, so the people who were lying in ambush down there didn't really bother me. Now here my weight is important, because I weigh more than the goblins and I need to press this little plate here under the chain. Opens this door, well, I will run and see a new rune, which is very situationally useful. Most of the time I don't really use them, but sometimes they can be very helpful. It is the Berserk Rage Super Mega Rune, and it demonstrates the Berserk mode here. Bloodlust actually, but I like to call it Berserk, I guess. You are invincible in this mode and you deal much more damage, but the damage dealt to you gets removed from your, I guess, Bloodlust meter there. Pretty much accelerates its loss or whatever. It's not very useful, but sometimes it can save your ass if you treat the rune like very temporal invincibility, or maybe in some cases you can even kill enough enemies fast enough so that you can get it naturally and then get some invincibility period. And there's exactly one place in the game where I think it's actually useful, and it's in the second half of Hell actually, in the next update, so look forward to that, I guess. I kinda wanna deal with this guy. There we go. And people advise to use sword weapons against them, but I do not see myself successfully using the Viking short sword against them, because the axe just acts so much better. Also, this torch went out hella fast. But here my secret pro tip is just set them on fire and close the door and escape and wait here, while trying to find some lizards. Lizards are kind of fun because you hear them, they make sounds, but most of the time you don't really see them if they're hidden well enough. And they are often hidden well enough. There was a time where I didn't even think to throw shit at them, so I didn't know how to get most of the lizards, because they like to sit on the ceilings, high on the walls. You can attack them if you can reach them with your weapon, but you can just throw. Throwing shit is fun. And yeah, there is these 4 rotating doors here. On the 2 of them you need to visit, one for the lizard mostly, and this one for the lever. I wish you could aim your sword, at least in first person. I wish I could more reliably behead the zombies, but sadly that's just not something that will happen in this game. Okay, going there after the goblin is completely useless. There's nothing there apart from another goblin afterwards. Which I guess this is... I like this because this is kind of exploration. Only the rewards of this exploration are not material, but knowing where to not go, where you don't have to go. I think, in my opinion, that's just as legit a reward as just some sort of item or pickup. And there, by the way, I flat out couldn't see the portion of the floor on that side which was protruding, so I had to jump kind of blindly. Okay, down there there's some grates. All of them are closed. I don't even remember if I can open that one, but there is a lever. Okay, well, this was just a guess pretty much that you could land on this side. bunch of lizards here, and this switch opens the gate behind me and gate in that little alcove here, which is exactly what I need. And this is the introduction of a favorite element of the levels. Favorite, I guess, not my favorite, but the designer's favorite. These little crypts, or you could call them, I guess, that thing, that word that just isn't coming to me for some reason right now. Sepulcher or something, I don't know. Whatever, they're just little places where the door falls out and the zombie runs out at you. And sometimes, very rarely, but there's stuff in them that you need to do something with. Like in this case, in one of them there is a platform that goes down. That was an area before which I kinda ran through previously, so whatever. There we go, here. This is a basement full of crabs, but I can just run past them now that I actually know where to go. When I was practicing here, I just kinda got stuck. Well, not in this sense, in the sense of not knowing actually what to do, because I didn't see that little opening in the wall.
You have the stench of the All-Father about you, warrior. Perhaps you expect Odin to lead you from my domain. I am the only other living being he has cast into this accursed realm, and I have awaited my release for 1,000 years.
Happy anniversary! How fortunate it is that I came here exactly when it was 1,000 years and no 1 year more or less. Now this thing shoots crap at you, which is homing. Your shield can absorb it pretty well and not get too damaged, but they kinda walk around you, and sometimes they'll just fly around and hit you in the back. But overall they do not deal a lot of damage, so you can kind of just ignore them. And I don't know what that energy thing is in the wall. For a while I thought it was just what hell actually was, and by hell I mean the person, not the place. But I suspect she actually looks like the statues. It's just we do never see her in this game in person. But whatever, close that place. Gonna deal with this guy because he will be annoying. The doors here open irritatingly slowly, so you have to survive while you wait for them to open. Okay, now this is a little trap area. The traps are another thing that this game loves, but didn't really show you too much. Like, observe. Shablamo. Sometimes you can get slightly caught on that and rotate it around and get scared out of your pants, but survive. But most of the time, if you touch those things and the likes of them, you will just get jibbed to pieces and have to replay. And in my case, replay the level from the start, since I am not using any quick saves. Hehe. Oh boy, why did I start this? Later parts of this game are going to be torture. That goblin is kind of slow here. He was trying to trap me in the fire, but now that I came here, he just didn't know what to do with me. Okay, this place is confusing in general, because you need to press some levers to open a place, which they don't seem to actually affect this gate. Okay, this was the wrong one. I already closed something that was open. To go through this crap. Man, that is nerve-wracking even when you see it in post-production. Ooh. It's not the worst though. The worst trap in the hell area is of course in the next update, and that thing is a bitch. I'll just say it like that. Also, I don't know what's going on up there. I can't reach there, but it seems like there's some cavern. Anyway, slightly burned there, but somehow this thing is now open. I don't know. Serves you right, you little idiot. As I said, goblins in this game are just punching bags and are the butt of all the little violence jokes. Like the one that we could torch, and these guys. These plates, it might seem like it's completely easy to jump over them, but it kinda is, yeah. But sometimes you press them accidentally without actually stepping on them. It's kinda glitchy, very little bit glitchy. And I got killed a couple times there just thinking that I jumped over, but I didn't. And then shablam, and I am dead. So that's nice. Okay, I think at this point I was hearing some lizards, which I really wanted to get. But I don't think I find them, spoiler alert. Okay, whatever, let's stop fucking around. Press the switch. Raise this thing. I have a sneaking suspicion that it might crush me against the ceiling or something. So I jumped off, looked for some lizards here, didn't find any, whatever. And no, it doesn't actually crush you, I was paranoid. But with this game it pays to be paranoid usually. There's some pretty unfair situations later. Also, these ledges are a bit of a bitch, because they have the borders on top, which means you have to jump slightly apart, like afar from the actual wall. Or else you will bonk your head on the border and not grab it. Okay, another pressure plate down one of the sepulchers, whatever. This thing comes back up, and I just really want this one lizard that doesn't even give me that much health, which is kinda stupid. Well, I mean, not stupid really, because it's balanced well enough in the end. Especially considering that there's randomly chameleon lizards that give you more. But going for just one of them usually doesn't seem really worth it. So this guy is really scripted, he didn't give a crap about me hitting him. I wonder if I could even drop him. I don't know, sometimes it seems like enemies are scripted, but you can still do this to them. Sometimes you just can't. Yeah. I give up trying to deal with that guy, because I kinda know where— whoop! Ha! That thing just bounced back off my head and raised back to a closed position, which was kinda hilarious. Okay, and this grate is closed, and there was a goblin in the dark that I didn't even see. I have to go to the opposite side here. Another really weird trap is coming, although it is not deadly, strangely enough. I have never been killed by it. There's a cage that gets dropped here if you walk— whoop! But I only ever got trapped in it, I have never been crushed by it. And it does look— and pardon my forwardness, but this game kinda feels like you would get crushed by scenery when you're not really supposed to be, because like usually the creators of these old games aren't as careful about making scenery harmless when it needs to be, like doors that close up and kill you. Like all those slow moving doors, slow opening doors around here, they smash you to pieces. And you can use them to smash skeletons to pieces sometimes, but it's not as satisfying as Duke Nukem 3D's smashing doors. Still, that cage is a mystery and an anomaly, and this corridor is full of supplies. And somehow, in the middle of all that, that door down there got opened, so let's go. Now there are some more corridors, I promise. This is just the introduction to Hell, so to speak. The better part of Hell is the second part. So it will be next update. Next update will be more interesting scenery. That is something that I can guarantee. Also, we will get a cool sword, which will help us kill these fuckers much easier. But I don't know if I will still be bothering killing them or anything. But we are actually back here. That is not really back here because it's a different level and it's just a copy of this place, but this was where the first speech of Hell happened. And there are like giant crabs down there. And across the bridge we saw that guy walk across it when the Hell statue started speaking. But now we are apparently just looped all the way around the road, that cage, did a lot of crazy stuff, and somehow ended back here, where we can open that door and proceed. By the way, in case you are wondering what happens if you drop down from the bridge before opening the door, because you wouldn't be able to get up here from that area, let me demonstrate using the classic version. So, if you find yourself down here before you open that door, well, the door beyond there, this one, opposite the one that needed the torch to be picked up, is open right now. Then break this wall, break this wall, break this fucking, or just crouch under it, and climb here, and eventually you will end up back up in some place that I just ran past. There's a bunch of runes here that are useless, and here we are. By the way, notice how there's that dog. I said that they like tight corridors. So, let me demonstrate just how they are in tight corridors. On the example of this part here. Whoop. I mean, they are possible to fight. You can dodge this. sometimes, but not often. I find them really annoying. I will not say they are as out of place as the skeletons, because the skeletons are just completely generic and out of place compared to dogs, compared to the Dishonored undead. But by the way, this is also how you can deal with one. The dogs can kind of fit, I suppose, maybe, even though I'm not sure Vikings really had like hellhounds. But yeah, at least they more or less fit the existing enemy bestiary. By the way, check out how fast fire burns. Whoop, yep. And this part here I wanted to show as well. This scripting here is a bit different. It just happened to be different, I guess. I'm not sure if there is actually a difference. Press the switch manually, open this door. He isn't going to press the switch behind me, so I have to go here down again. The skeletons do their kind of Dark Souls thing of rising up in a whirlwind of bones and activating, but you can just run past them. There's more freaking hellhounds, which gets kind of ridiculous in these corridors. I mean, I'm still running through this all, but just look at how many hellhounds there is. And skeletons are reviving, and there's a Russian voice acting, little like burning corpse dude. But yeah, this gets a little bit ridiculous. I cannot imagine fighting all of them, honestly. This is probably crazy tedious. But back to the normal game. Go down here. Nothing in the crab little places anymore. Not a rune. Well, not that we would need a rune even. This skeleton activates a trap, which I originally thought was pretty bullshit. I will show you in a little clip afterwards what it actually does, because here I was just glad to run past it. And this was the door that we unlocked with 2 levers, and here there's yet another one of these cages. So this was pretty much the last level of this video, but of course there is a little bit left. A little bit for me to show, as per tradition, established by exactly one instance before the beginning of the next level, so that you can get the first taste of what's coming next time. And this is immediately an interesting place to look at. There's this crazy window with crazy fast clouds rushing past them. But let's look at how the trap goes and how the level ends in the classic version. Here I go into the trap. He activates it. Those holes in the wall will be shooting some sort of mine bullshit. And now I find out that they are actually leading your movement, so you can kind of weave around and they will miss. Which I didn't actually know. Maybe it was changed actually, because I didn't really dodge them all that easily in the classic, I mean in the real version. When I was playing it before, like scouting ahead and stuff. I couldn't dodge that, so I was happy to be able to just run through completely. But here I immediately discovered that you can completely just make them miss like that. But yeah, as you can see, it's a completely different place. So in the next video we'll see just what levels were cut in the Hell episode. But for now, thank you for watching Rune. I hope you liked it in Hell, because Hell is only going to get more interesting from now on. And see you next time, when Hell is getting more interesting. Goodbye.